Hello, today's just a quick video. I'm going to just have a quick look at taking the cab roof off so I can tidy up these, or get rid of this all thread and nuts and bolts, and then hopefully have a look at taking the batteries and see what's holding the battery compartment on. As my previous video did suggest that I'll be swapping that out for a new case anyway, so I mean that can come off. So I've got a couple of the sort of remote control, if you like, spanners or wrenches that typically come with the Tamiya kit and the such. I mean, they weren't very tight, so I'm going to get the spanner this side because there's the two nuts. Just undo that, and hopefully, well, as you can see, the nut's actually coming straight off. So the nut on the end of the oil thread's actually, or must be, sort of welded on now, if you like. So it's screwing itself, it's taking these off. So if I just remove the two nuts off this side, it's where the battery's leaked all over it as well. I can feel it's a bit sticky, so I'll have to go and wash my hands after this. Make sure they're clean, but might as well finish it off first. Won't take too long. So yeah, I'm just holding the span on the two nuts that was obviously on there, just to, I suppose they were there to stop it locking and spinning round. Once I can get these off, then with any joy I'll be able to get rid of that, get that off the lid and clean it all up as well, because it can't be doing any good to the paintwork, and long term it definitely won't be doing no good. So I'll take that off. So there you have it, there's the screws, there's a bit of all thread. So now that comes off. So yeah, as you can see on the cab, the slotted holes. So I know on the Silver Lady, for instance, you'll have your nut and a bolt both sides, there and there, and then you'll lift it up and you lift the back up a bit, and then it allows it then to swivel over like that, so it holds out the way. But with that all thread, it was making it quite awkward actually. It would just almost it would stick. I mean, we can see here where it's slightly bent the hinges. Look, it's lifted hinges off the cab, off the roof. So I'll address that, make sure they're flush, smooth with the cab, and then I'll just examine this. So it looks like, unfortunately, is that, I don't know if that's completely worn through, or not too sure. I think it's just that rod. So I think, looking at this, it's possibly just that. So there's the rod here, runs down to the cab. I think it should sit in the top there, so I may have to just put some sort of adhesive, have a look to see what's best, but may just have to put some adhesive on there to keep that support in place, so it's like the other side. But that's something I can have a look at later on. I think if I only take these batteries out of there would be a good start, because I'm assuming this will reveal the fixings right. Okay, there you go. So, and it does. just being careful with this, because obviously the bit's gonna be falling out everywhere, and then I don't really want mud in my eyes or face. There you are. So looking at it, there's a little nut there and a little nut there. I may struggle on those. I might have to just do that on a separate occasion. Just see how I'll get to the top, because I don't know if they're. I think there's screws there and there. Look, there's a little flat blade screwdriver there and a little flat blade screwdriver there. They look like they line up, so it's potentially that I'm going to have to do it from the other side. Maybe hold these with the pliers and then just get the little flat blade on there just to loosen them off. So that'll be something I'll do, and then I'll come back to you once I've removed this battery case. Okay, there you have it. So finally got them, well, ruined batteries out, so they can't do any more damage to the loco. Right, they're terrible. Cleaning down the Roundhouse Russell, I'm going to use a cloth, clean cloth. I've got some 3-in-1 oil for the connecting rods, and then just a little bit of brake cleaner to hopefully just try and clean the dust and grime off the chassis. I'm not planning on using too much of it. I'm going to be not soaking it. Let's say I'll probably spray a little bit and work a little bit at a time, and yeah, we'll just see how she cleans up. So I mean, it's all quite oily, greasy, even just straight away just on the top of it. So I don't want to soak it, but give it a little quick spray and we'll see how it goes really. So might as well start from the top, work our way down. I'll do a bit more of that, turn it round, do the other side, get my little brush for little bits here and round here, and I'll show you what it looks like after. Right, so I've gave it a clean down. Didn't take too long, I think, as you can agree. Definitely looks a lot better now. Like I say, it hasn't taken too long. I've just used a rag, a little tough brush, to sort of scrub around the connecting rods and bearings. There's a little bit of the brake cleaner. Yeah, and it's coming really well actually. It hasn't took long at all. So what I've also done, a little bit unconventional, it will be sorted. I'm just waiting on a sort of another clip to make these two together off the lid. So for now I've just popped the wires in, as you can see, just to get power to the loco. I've removed the planet receiver that was obviously fitted to the loco when I picked it up, because I'm going to fit the fosworks as in the previous video. So I thought just might leave it running. I'm going to basically just see about binding it, setting the servo, see if I can have the reverser and the regulator. So I'm hoping that we can perhaps have the reverser on servo 2, so reverse or forward and then neutral, and then I'll hopefully program this one for the regulator to control the power. But yeah, let's have a try then. So this is literally first time for me. Just move this back a little bit. So I know I'm getting power. If I turn it on, obviously we've got the LED flashing on the receiver now. So looking at the instructions, it says the binding procedure: turn the receiver on, which we've done, hold down the buttons 1 and 3, so hold those two buttons down, and then it says to turn the controller on, so I'll turn that on. I've got my light. So it says successful binding is indicated by LED 2 going on. Release the two buttons and job's done. One LED goes solid to indicate the transmitter and receiver are linked, so that'll be this here then. What I found was, so for myself personally, I've put the regulator, the throttle, on Servo 1, which is this S1 knob here, and then the reversers in Servo 2. So I've got my reverser on S2 here. So I've set it up in a way that I'm in neutral, and then obviously for, you can forward or reverse, etc., or forward and reverse the other way. And then that'll be my regulator or throttle, so that's 0 for this, and then I can wind the power up and it'll go up to full throttle when it reaches the halfway mark. So for just setting the servo, you can set a start, a middle and an end point on the servo for the travel. So again, with the remote off, you'd hold buttons 2 and 3, turn the remote on, these will flicker. When they stop flickering, let go, and then they'll start to sort of flash. So that will flash once for Servo 1. If you want to change the servo, press number 1 and it will flash twice, which will be Servo 2. If you press 1 again, it will flash 3 times, which will be for Servo 3. And you'll start using these for that to change the Servo 3 and 4. But for me, when I connected it, Servo 2 was already controlling the reverser, so I was quite happy and the travel was good to go. So it was just a case of programming Servo 1 for the throttle, the regulator. So it was also in reverse, so if you like, that would have been full throttle and then that coming down to no throttle. So all I've done for that was, again, with the remote off, hold buttons 2 and 3, turn the controller on, and then you'll flash once on LED 1 to say Servo 1, and that'll flash once to say its position or start position. So I'll adjust the control to reach the start position where I want it to start, which will be at the top for closed regulator. I'll press number 2, I'll bring it round to a halfway mark, I'll press 2 again, and that'll flash 3 times now from end position. So effectively I'll be winding it to the full throttle, and I'll press it again, and that will store the 3, your start, your halfway and your end positions of your servo for your travel. And then to get it to go clockwise instead of the anti-clockwise, which it was, I starting at 1 flash, so I'm at the start zone again. I'll adjust the dial until I'm at closed position where I want it to be the start, and I'll press 3. I'll press that number 2 twice, so that flashes 3 times, and then I would have wound it round it down to the, if you like, the full throttle position with that flashing 3 times. Press 3, and then I'll turn it off, and then when you turn it back on, you'll notice that the servo will now be playing right, so that will now be closed throttle and that open throttle. So it reverses the start and end positions. So I've managed to do that, and hopefully you understand it a bit. But to be fair, there's plenty on the internet. The instructions come with were okay, but I found it much easier going on the Fosworks website, and then if you look at links, there's a link on there actually, and I believe is it Steve Foster. There's a video anyway on there that will give you the demonstration, and he shows you how to do it, which is what I watched in the end, to be fair. But yeah, it worked for me, but seems to work well. It was, you know, it's nice little unit, so it'd be good to give it a try when I've got it running. So, I hope you can understand that a bit, but yeah, definitely isn't the easiest to explain for myself. Right, thanks. Onto the cab roof. Secured the new batch back to that. I'm just waiting on the 9-volt battery adapter plug, so I can fix to those. I'll obviously reduce the length of them, so they'll be just there like the original. So when I do come to connect it, the ones on the loco will connect straight to it. Unless I want to disconnect rather than just solder them direct. And then when that's all done, there's the cap for it. So that keeps that nice and tidy on the lid, on the roof. And then I have cleaned up the bodywork, although the light's not great. I'll give it a polish. I want to make a bit of a template for here, for the Russell. I'll probably get some cardboard, cut sort of this, and then I'll chop this bit out like that. And then I'll know then if I put the cardboard against this edge and flush against this edge, I can put the Russell badge, and then I'll use the same both sides, so they'll be identical both sides. I've straightened up the coal bucket that needed doing, and then I've used some adhesive to just fix this pin in the cab roof. Just a small drop just to hold it in place. Seems to be doing the trick. It's done really well actually. And then obviously that will go on there. So it should swivel, but obviously just that looks so much nicer, tidier than what it did. So yeah, a bit more work, but I'll be back at it.